Okay, in this video, I'm going to be going over some matchups that I want to see in the future from some of the fighters on UFC 310. I'm just going to be going over the main, co-main, and feature fights, the fighters involved in those fights, and some matchups I want to see them in next. So, we're starting out with the main event. I'm going to start out with Pantoja. He got an epic win against Kaya Sakura where he choked him out bad. And I think that there's no one really left for him, but we have a contender that's kind of there. I don't think there's a super fight on the horizon for Pantoja. I don't think Figueiredo's coming down. I don't think DC or Demetrius Johnson is coming out of retirement anytime ever. So I think that we give Pantoja. We get this fight. We just start throwing fighters at Pantoja that he's already beat. Who really gives a shit? He's already beat him, but I don't really care. Let's just make this fight. Cascar is Kai Kara France has arguably earned it, and there's really no one else. So I'd say just throw Kai Kara France in there and hope that he knocks out Pantoja, or Pantoja beats him and hypes his name up. The only really way to hype up Pantoja for me right now in my brain is to have Pantoja beat like six more people, even if there's, even if he's already beat him, even if he already beat everyone twice. If he beats a lot of people, it makes up for the quality of opponent that he's beating, which he is beating good opponents. Don't get me wrong, but at least in my opinion, I just don't really give a fuck about flyweight if with him as champ. So if he's beating a lot of people, then I start caring a little bit more because then he starts getting into GOAT conversations. I know people are trying to put him in the GOAT conversation right now, but that is absurd. He is nowhere near Demetrius Johnson in terms of GOAT status at flyweight. That's insane. But this is what I want to see for Pantoja next. Let's make it quick. Let's start just getting him out of the way, to be honest. So, yeah, this. And then maybe we can get a Tyra win and then give him Tyra. That would be sick. Let's give Tyra to maybe a Brandon Moreno or something like that. Give him a jump up anyway, even though he lost. Next, Kaya Sakura. Lost by choke. He's made his UFC debut, so I don't think we should keep him up there in the rankings that high. What I do think we should still give him hype matchups. They've fought before in the past. They're 1-1, I'm pretty sure. I think that Kai Asakura should fight Manel Cap coming off of a win this weekend, which I think he will win. Even if he doesn't, I think he should fight Manel Cap in his next fight. I think they've already have kind of an unfinished business, a little storyline going. Kai Asakura doesn't really have any other assets in the division, I would say. This is a story. There's a little bit of beef. Manel Cap is a pretty big name for the shit that he says and the beef that he has been in with other people. I think this would be a big build-up. I think Manel Cap wins this weekend, gives him some hype, and this fight is perfect for that. I think that's perfect for Kai Sakura. It's not super high up the rankings. It's a good test that he can get a win back because this is like the, for me at least, this is the kind of like scar on his career a little bit is that he got chinned by fucking Manel Cap, who is not an elite level flyweight as we're finding out. So if we do this and Kai Sakura wins, then he gets some hype back, and he gets to regain a loss in a more definitive way. And if Cap wins, then fuck, Cap becomes hyped up. We have another hype prospect at flyweight, who is already, we are kind of already know he's shitty, but this is what I want for Kai Sakura next. I think that's sweet. Next, we have Rakhmonov. So, it's obvious. Rakhmonov versus Bilal Muhammad for the belt. It was a #1 contender fight between him and Gary. Give him the belt. Makes sense to me. I don't like the fight, how it went down, but he obviously deserves a title shot now. And this fight will be cool at some point in time. This is just the obvious one to make. Bilal came in the octagon. There's no other fight really for Rakhmonov. This fight will be cool, I think. I will take Rakhmonov, but after that fight, I'm not I'm not hating Bilal's chances anymore, which is so stupid that I have to say that. But yeah, this is the next fight for Rakhmonov. Very blatantly obvious why. and weird spot for welterweight after that fight, to be honest. After this weekend, we'll also be in a weird spot depending on the outcome, but I'm very excited for that card too. But we'll get to that in another video. Next, Ian Garry. Oh, speaking of, okay, Ian Garry. I think that Ian Garry, I said his name a lot of times, should fight a hype name. I want this fight still to be made, even if win or lose. Okay, never mind. We'll just show it. Ian Garry versus Colby Covington is what I want to make. Is what I want the UFC to make next. This fight is huge. It was huge from the beginning. It makes a lot of sense. I think Colby Covington coming off a loss against Buckley this weekend, which I do think will happen. I think Buckley beats Covington. I think Covington either has to retire or is out of options and will fight Ian Garry at that point. If he wins, he doesn't get a title shot. He still might have to fight Ian Garry. He'll be able to have some control over he fights at that point, so I don't think he will. But no matter what, I think this is the fight to make. If not, if Buckley loses, maybe and Covington's being a baby, Buckley and Garry, they should remake that fight. I don't hate either one of these matchups, but this is the biggest matchup they can make at welterweight in terms of a press conference and a build-up. This is it. So I want to see it. No matter what, I want to see it. But they could easily remake the Joaquin Buckley fight. But if Buckley beats Covington, shit, he's way above Garry in terms of potential matchups. He's getting a Kamaru Usman or a Leon Edwards after that, I would say. But if he loses to Covington, give Ian Garry and Joaquin Buckley both a shot to make their name better. And that makes sense to me too. But this fight is huge. It's the biggest fight they can make at welterweight, hype-wise. And I want to see it really badly. So let's do that. Either way, to be honest, after this weekend. I doubt it, though, because Colby Covington's not a very... He doesn't like his chances against Ian Garry, we're finding out. He's kind of being a bitch about it. So, we'll see if this happens, but this is what I want. Next. Ciryl Gane and Volkov. So we have Ciryl Gane first. Ciryl Gane did not win this fight. I am 100% confident in that opinion, that he did not win this fight. He should not get Aspinall next. I don't like that at all. I do think, in a perfect world, which is what I'm basing this off of, Aspinall fights John Jones. John Jones says yes, gets a shitload of money, and he fights Aspinall. Probably the likelihood, I don't know, to be honest, but that's what I want to happen. And if that does happen, either way, Aspinall should either fight John Jones or maybe a Pereira coming up. Ciryl Gane didn't earn it. I think Ciryl Gane should go through Volkov's sloppy seconds in Sergey Pavlovich. I think this is the fight to make for Ciryl Gane, coming off a loss against Volkov. In everyone's opinion, Sergey is also coming off a loss against Volkov, a lot more dominated loss. But this is a super interesting matchup that people have been talking about for a long time anyway. They're both coming off of losses. Sergey Pavlovich was going on a fucking nut streak right before this. Ciryl Gane should have to fight someone with some danger, in my opinion. Not a Jelton Almeida. I don't like that. I said it is... I used to think that, just punish him, but Jelton Almeida, I don't want him anywhere near the top of the heavyweight division at all, ever. I would rather have him be cut than fight Ciryl Gane right now. So, I think this is the fight to make. Sergey versus Ciryl. It's a pretty sweet fight, actually. A lot of potential for a big knockout or another schooling. Ciryl Gane could school Sergey because we found out he gets schooled by taller, rangier guys, or could get schooled by him. Or we could see Pavlovich knock out Ciryl Gane and make another run for the title. Since Ciryl Gane got dropped by Tai Tuivasa, that's not an insane possibility. So, this is what I want for Ciryl Gane. Sergey Pavlovich, I think this is sweet. And then we could have Pavlovich coming off a knockout win against Ciryl, shooting up the rankings a little bit, and either fighting someone else cool. Just more interesting matchups. Eh. Tom Aspinall really killed everybody in the division, didn't he? It's kind of a shame because if John Jones does retire, Cyril Gahn just does fight Tom. So that might just be what happens. But this is the fight I would want to see next because of Cyril's loss. But since he technically won, they'll probably just make him versus Aspinall. But yeah, this is what I want to see. Next, we have Volkov. Since since he lost, technically lost, he's not getting a title shot. He's not going to fight Aspinall. He's not getting. I don't think they're going to do a rematch versus Cyril. That doesn't make much sense to me. I think they try to get him a win back against the person that Tom just beat by knockout. I think we do this. I think we do the rematch. Volkov versus Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades got it done the first time. I think that Volkov has serious potential to get it done this time. He is very drastically improved, and if he can get a loss off his record, his legacy will be improved. Everybody knows he beat Cyril Gahn. Then we could be looking for a potential title fight anyway. So this is a way to fix multiple problems with Volkov's career. Because you could say Curtis lost to Volkov. Volkov lost to Aspinall. Aspinall knocked out Curtis. Why even bother with a Volkov matchup anyway? But if he can get this win, either knock out Curtis or make it look or dominate him, then this is like, okay, he's a different fighter than when he fought Aspinall. He's good. He's ready. Give him a title shot. It's interesting. Cyril should have been that fight, but since he lost on the scorecards, this is another way to get him to that shot. So I'm going to go with this rematch. I don't see any other fight for Curtis Blades, really. He already knocked out Jelton Almeida. So, yeah, just do this. It sounds good to me. But, yeah, these are the matchups I want to see next after UFC 310. There's a lot of other fighters on this card that are interesting, but that I did not really know who to place them in the, like, I didn't want to give much thought to their matchups right now. Movsar, he's one I'll talk about, actually. I want Movsar probably to fight Diego Lopez in a rematch just to get that little smear off of Diego Lopez's record, because I think Lopez on a full camp beats Movsar bad, and that'll build Diego Lopez's hype. And if Movsar somehow wins, you have a sick contender for the title. If Ilia Topuria decides to stay at featherweight, that is. But yeah, besides that, these are the matchups I want to see next. The most hype ones, in my opinion. And that's about it. I will see you soon.